Hi, I'm Phil Mitchell and this show is Digital Mindset, the show that goes through the latest top technology and digital stories this week. Hi and welcome to Digital Mindset, the show where we talk about the latest digital stories and technology stories from this week. To kick off, we're going to start with the story that Amazon released yesterday, which is Cyber Monday, which, if you don't know, is a big day for selling electronics and stuff online. So this probably linked into a good PR campaign for them to get free exposure on that day. But basically they said that they're going to be, they're currently research and development for these drones, and they're basically little quadcopters that pick up packages and deliver them within certain places. So if you're within a certain radius of the Amazon warehouse, they say in the future you'll be able to get your delivery in 30 minutes by these drones. The internet's kind of split about it. Some people think it's a really cool idea. Some people say they will shoot them down if they see them in the air. I don't know why they're going so mad about it, but I think it's a cool idea. Basically, you can have all these drones. I think, where does it stop though? You know, once you've got your surveillance, you've got your deliveries, you've got, you know, the skies are already quite full, so imagine loads of little drones flying about. I think it's going to be long for America to get it there, because I'm going to have approval till 2015 to actually use drones for commercial purposes. China are probably going to be first with this, because they're already testing these under government allowances. So they're testing to see if they can use these drones to deliver. You can see an image of one here. As you can see, they look pretty cool. I love flying things like that. When I was working for a company a while ago, they gave me a remote control helicopter and just polystyrene thing with just plastic and polystyrene. It's fairly cheap, but it was branded with the company I was working for. It was like a promotional giveaway, and they're amazing. They're so much fun. And I was looking online, and you can get these quadcopters now with cameras on, so you can fly about and see on the controller what the helicopter sees, or the quadcopter. Sorry, the helicopters are cool, but the quadcopters look like they have more stability. And if they've got gyroscopes inside, they can balance themselves and stuff. And one had a return home feature. So you set a feature, you click go, and it actually returns home. And these are fairly cheap. The main one, the big, most expensive one, was like $1,000 or something. But I've got a link in the description actually, so you can see where you can get these from. But I think they're amazing, and they're so much fun. And also, if you could do filming and stuff, I know some people that are utilising them for filming. So for a property, they can do aerial views or zoom out aerially and get some good images for the property. So I think it's interesting. I think it's going to be well interesting to see where they develop, because the prices now are so cheap. I've seen remote control helicopters for like £10, £20. You know, not much, and the price is going to drop as they become more and more manufactured. And a lot of them made in China and Hong Kong now anyway. So, you know, the price is insignificant to buy them. What do you think about this? Are you for it? Are you against it? Are you going to shoot them down out of the sky if they come? It'd be interesting to hear your comments in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of this story. So going on to the next story is Apple has acquired Topsy, which is a social analytics company. They're one of the companies that pay to have access to Twitter Firehose, which is basically all the tweets that are tweeted. They're in the mainstream of Twitter's Firehose, and not many companies have access to this, but Topsy is one of them. And Apple has bought them. I don't know what reason they bought them for. It hasn't been publicly announced, and they say that when they acquire these smaller companies, they don't normally publicly announce what the purpose is, and they have no legal obligation to publicly announce it. Some people are saying it's for iTunes Radio, so they could probably use some of that data to see what artists are the most popular and what they should be promoting. Someone also thinks that it may be for Apple TV. I know Apple TV hasn't come out yet, and I know Twitter's interlinking with the TV ads, like I said in the last episode. So basically, if a TV program's on and it's trending or something, you can advertise for that program. I think they may be getting it to link into Apple TV if that ever came about, because it would be really useful if you know exactly what people want to see and what they're talking about currently. Then you could, you know, take that information to make your production decisions or your timescale decisions. If you know people would prefer it at 7 o'clock, then you can run it at 7 o'clock rather than 8. So I think it's got to be something to do with that. They're going to utilise it for themselves in some way. I don't see them entering that because they're mostly a hardware business. They do have software as well, but they don't really do online platforms, and I can't imagine them trying to enter that market. So I think they're going to utilize it for one of their other platforms, either iTunes Radio or Apple TV. What do you think about this? Do you think they're going to use their Apple TV or iTunes Radio, or does it not really affect you? 200 million is a lot to pay for Topsy though. I don't know why they didn't go direct to Twitter and just try buying into the fire hose. I guess because Topsy tidy up the data and organise it for them. So that, it'd be interesting to see how that unrolls and actually find out what Apple are planning to utilise this company for. And some people have said it's for increasing the App Store relevance. I don't believe that, because I don't think the data for the Twitter data isn't really going to be as related as the music or the TV would be. But they could utilise it in some way for the App Store, I guess. It's all speculation at the moment because nobody knows. So, we won't know until they actually start utilising it. Then we'd see what they had in mind all along. And so moving on to the next story is over Cyber Monday, RBS and NatWest have had more problems with their bank, their online banking system, and all their accounts. They've had 3 in the last 18 months problems like this. They had to pay out a lot of money to people that couldn't cash checks, couldn't make payments, got default fees for not being able to, because their system failed. I don't think it was hacked. They said it wasn't, but who knows? They wouldn't want to come out publicly and say their system was hacked because it wouldn't, do them any favours. But maybe their system's just not as good. I don't know why it keeps failing like this. Other banks don't seem to have these problems. And I've always, when I was with NatWest, I used to struggle logging onto their system many times. It would time out, and then I wouldn't be able to log in. And it's so frustrating when you've got money in your account and you need to pay it somewhere and you can't get access to that. And it's not just the frustration of the matter, it's the fact you may get fees for not being able to pay or not paying your bills because of a system error on their side. So I do think they're liable. I think they're going to miss out on some money this time. I think they're going to have to pay out some, damages, or not damages as such, but reimburse people for fees they've been charged for the system being down. As you can imagine, Twitter's, people are outraged on Twitter. It's the end of the world. They're tweeting a lot of negative things about NatWest. And it's just terrible for PR, when you've got so many people that are struggling with your system. How can you even imagine to acquire new customers when they can see this public data from each individual saying that your system's not working? Nobody, banks are the people you want to trust, really. Not bankers, but banks. You want to trust them with your money. You want to know that if you put your money in your account, you're going to be able to access it and use it to pay bills. And that's the basic purpose of a bank. So for their systems together, and this is dire, and RBS are down as well. I think they're using the same system but on different platforms, or on the same platform. They're saying they're investing heavily in building IT systems that customers can rely on, and I guess they are, but it depends who's building the systems. A lot of these companies will, tell you all these great things that the system's going to be able to do, but when they get around to coding it, it could be full of bugs. You probably need to spend a bit more and have someone internally that can look at software and see whether it's going to be worthwhile or not. Outsourcing this sort of stuff is not great, really. You want to have someone, at least one person internally, that knows what you're paying for and how it's going to all come together. Just on top of Christmas as well, this ain't great. So if it carries on for a little longer and people are going to miss out on buying stuff for Christmas, it's not going to be great for them. It's going to turn out very badly, I'd imagine. So we'll see how that rolls out. Hopefully they get it fixed soon, because it's always bad to see companies hurting like this. But then again, I don't really care for NatWest that much. So personally, they're not my main bank, so it doesn't affect me. But for other people, I feel for them. I don't want them to have to struggle, and it's never good when that happens. Okay, well, moving on to the final story today is Facebook are changing their timeline ranking factors again. They've done it many times in the past, and they're trying everything they can now to keep users and to make it more relevant. Basically, it's about low quality images. So you may have been on Facebook and you've seen these sites where they have some comedy image is normally being republished from somewhere else a million times, and then you go to the page and it's got the image and some adverts around it, like lolcats or any of that sort of stuff. And Facebook are basically all trying to work on a way to grade those images and those sites so that they can show articles, useful images, and Facebook hosted images over the external ones that don't add any value. Because when you look at it, you know, those sites are just putting the image on their site so they can get the ad revenue, while they could just put it on Facebook. And obviously Facebook would prefer if that image was on Facebook rather than a third-party site. But then the third-party site wouldn't be providing that image to just Facebook because they're not going to get revenue from it. So I guess this is a way of Facebook shutting down the external sites and trying to keep everyone internal on their platform. It'd be interesting to see how it works out, because like everything, when algorithms or these things come into place to stop people, there's always ways around it. There might be something you just need to add, like a little bit of text into your thing to make it rank higher, and there'll be people that find out how to game it. So it might just mean some extra hoops that these guys have to jump through to make their money on their image sites. It started back when My Likes come about. I don't know if you heard of My Likes. It's basically a platform where you can pay for people to tweet and share your links. And what happened was a load of companies jumped on, they started paying, but then black hatters jumped on. Black hatters basically marketers that don't use kind of ethical ways to market products, and they were just sending cheap traffic to the links and pretending they were on Facebook or Twitter. But one way that was discovered that makes money is having images just surrounded by ads and viral images that get a lot of social traction. So My Likes has turned into basically a platform for My Likes, the site, which is a site that shares popular images or viral images that will be shared or have a likeliness that will be shared. And they found out a way that they can monetize Twitter and Facebook traffic by sending them to these sites and getting people to retweet and share on those platforms. So the viral aspect makes them their money. Twitter's still okay with it. I know they have their own images on the site, so if you upload it to Twitter, it shows in your stream, which gets more exposure because it takes up more real estate in the Twitter feed. And that makes sense, and that's a perfectly smart way to do it. With Facebook ranking theirs over other people's, I think that's when it starts. Well, it's already started to become something that marketers are kind of wary or worried about, because as a marketer, you don't want to be spending money on a platform to build up an audience, and then your audience can't even see your posts, because that's what you want at the end of the day. I know Twitter's done that with Facebook done that with EdgeRank, and that's one of the reasons I stopped spending so much money advertising on Facebook, just because you're going to build up a Facebook fan page, but only 5% of your fans are going to see your posts, and to me that doesn't make sense, and it's not cost effective when I could be sending them to an email capture page or a subscriber on YouTube or a follower on Twitter. At least they're going to see your post. If they log in, they're going to see your post, and there's not going to be outranked, or Twitter's going to say, oh, I don't like this post, I'm not going to share it to your followers. Which is, it's not a very nice thing, but I can see Facebook's reasoning behind it. It's in the interest of them, but they need to be careful they don't burn too many of their advertisers, because the advertisers are the guys that fund the site. Well, not necessarily, actually the shareholders fund it, but they want the advertisers to take over that and give them a return. So what do you think about this? Do you think it's a good move by Facebook? Are you annoyed by these sites that post images and you have to click to their site to see the image? Do you not really care? Do you, if you have to click, it doesn't matter, you still get to see the image? And if they want to make money because they're producing the images or it costs a bit to do it, fair enough. Let us know in the comment section below as always. And in the about section I have links to everything that you need to know about this video, how to contact me, and a lot of other good things for you. Also, you can subscribe here if you click that button. Subscribe to the channel so you can see our latest videos. There's a link in the description if you want to get the updates by email. I know a lot of people don't have YouTube accounts or don't check their YouTube subscriptions. So if you're one of those, then enter your email in the box that you get when you click on the subscribe form below in the about section, and we'll send you an email every time we release a new episode, so you don't have to ever miss any. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. Have a great day, and I'll see you on the next one. The more